Ooh, guess what, writers? There's a new contender on the content landscape. Oh my gosh, called ChatGPT 3. Oh my gosh, or it's going to go 3.5 or 4. It's going to grow. Oh my goodness. It's an AI writing tool. And I'm sure you've heard about it and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm a freelance writer. What's going to happen to me? What's going to happen? Oh my goodness. Do I need to use it or not? Or all that stuff. Is it going to replace writers? People are going to try it and all this stuff. And you're probably thinking about it. Like, what's going to happen to freelance writers? Well, I'm here to help you. My name is Elna from elnakane.com. And for today's video, I do want to talk about this new contender in this content landscape. It is from OpenAI. It's ChatGPT. I'm sure you've seen it all over Twitter, on YouTube, all around in news articles and whatnot. And I do want to sort of dispel any kind of myths or thoughts you might have about AI writing and the quality of AI writing and how that fits into your business as a freelance writer. For me, I've been freelance writing since 2014, and the landscape this year for 2022 and for 2023 is constantly evolving and changing. Blogs are growing as far as what they can do for content and for lead generation. Same with video marketing, social media marketing, all that type of different ways and platforms to get eyeballs to someone's business, as well as this new AI writing assistant. I do want to share my thoughts on that. So in my latest blog post, I do share 15 tips to land your first freelance writing client in 2023. I want you to check out the whole post, all the 15 tips. I'm just going to talk about one of them that's regarding ChatGPT or AI writing. I like to term it in the big umbrella as AI writing assistant tools, because it really is an assistant tool for writers and bloggers, entrepreneurs, authors, you name it. All right, even priests are using it for their sermons. Podcasters are using it for their podcast descriptions or transcripts. YouTube influencers, all those people are dabbling into this AI writing assistant tool. All right, so let's go to my blog post. Here it is. It's 15 helpful tips for landing your first freelance writing gig in 2023. And I do share some places to find that from legit writers that have used those platforms. So again, this is a very highly valuable post. Go ahead and bookmark it and read it on your own time and take notes. Do want to direct you to number 2 here, which is your expertise will make you more money. And this goes deeper into your expert writing skills, which I'm not going to share in this video. I do have a video on content writing tips to help you to land those marketing jobs for you. So make sure to check out that video. All right. So for this one, it says here, artificial intelligence is here to stay. More specifically, OpenAI's ChatGPT is the latest iteration of this type of technology, and it's turning a lot of heads. I have all these things from Twitter. You can see what people are using it. They're like awestruck by this. It says, okay, this is starting to get rather worrying. This person is worried that ChatGPT is better than what they're thinking. A lot of people are saying that it's going to somewhat replace Google. Google is scrambling right now to figure out how they can compete with this new type of tool. This person says, I gave ChatGPT a task to create 15-point plan for creating a route to market for a Kenyan gentone artist. This is the outcome. And people were blown by that. I guess ChatGPT will not replace copywriters and marketing jobs. Just like mobile cameras didn't replace photography jobs. This reality is it still takes skill and soul to take an impactful photo. What's your thoughts? So this person realizes the explosion of ChatGPT, but just like in past technology advancements, he was saying with mobile cameras versus point and shoot cameras, now we have streaming versus movies, things like that. You just have to adapt and change what you're doing. That's what I wanted to iterate. So the highly advanced writing tool just recently blew up, as I mentioned. Now I'm not going to get into the technology behind AI writing tools. You can look at that on your own time, but just know that this iteration of ChatGPT is more advanced than past iterations for sure. I do give an example. I do want to show you. Let's go to a live demonstration of this. So it's free to use. If you go to OpenAI, search for that or click on the link in my blog post here. I do give you a link right here. So it's OpenAI, chat.openai.com, and then you can sign up and it just gives you some information here. It says their goal is to get external feedback in order to improve their systems and make them safer. And it says, while we have safeguards in place, the system may occasionally generate incorrect or misleading information and produce offensive or biased content. It is not intended to give advice. So people are using it for advice, but it's not that intention. And the information that it presents may not be accurate. Again, when you're using something like this tool, you need to be aware of that. If you want it to write something like, give me a summarization of a book, it may give you the wrong points. Who knows? So let's just play around and see. And so conversation must be reviewed by our AI trainers to improve our systems. Please don't share any sensitive information in your conversations. All right. The system is optimized for dialogue, and then share your feedback if you want. So this is like a chatting thing. You can ask it questions. It gives you feedback, and based on what you're saying in that conversation, it still updates its content, and it changes what it says to you later on if you have a full conversation, which I don't. I just ask it maybe a question or two and that's it. But for fun, it gives you some examples like explain quantum computing in simple terms. Got any creative ideas for a 10 years old birthday party? How do I make HTTP requests in JavaScript? I hear people do it for coding, that it's really helpful for that. Let's just be generic and ask for blog post ideas first. So, give me 10 blog post ideas about having a fur kitten for the first time, and just leave it at that and see what it does. You can be more specific. You can ask using the keyword and give it a keyword. So give me 10 blog post ideas about having a kitten using the keyword kitten ideas or whatever, or first kitten. And most likely it will generate that phrase in each iteration of the blog post idea, but it may not always. Again, it's not always 100% accurate. So 10 things to consider before bringing home a kitten. That's great. Kitten proofing your home, a checklist. The importance of socialization for your new kitten, how to choose the right food for kitten. These are all great, like pillar posts for a pet niche. If you have a pet client, for example, and they want some kitten content, then you can pitch these ideas for them. These could be ultimate guides, like training your kitten to use the litter box, ultimate guide. You get the idea from an AI writing assistant tool that you can use for your clients. And from there, if we decide to pick, let's see, then we can ask GPT and just get some ideas. Provide an outline for the topic as an ultimate guide. Okay, so provide an outline for the topic, training your kitten to use the litter box as an ultimate guide. So we have an introduction, we have choosing the right litter box, we have introducing the litter box to your kitten, we have common mistakes to avoid, we have troubleshooting common problems, maintenance and upkeep, and conclusion. So look at the nice outline it produced for an ultimate guide, not just for like a list post or anything, but an ultimate guide. And as a freelance writer, there is no shame in using something like this to help you get your juices flowing on what you want to write about, to get some ideas about an ultimate guide for litter training your kitten. You can definitely use this and add more to it. It does give you some subtopics. You might have some more based on your client. If your client has a particular litter, for example, that they're marketing, then you can talk about that, choosing the right box and then introducing litter to your kitten. Here you can add more, showing your kitten how to use it, encouraging your kitten to use it, and then types of litters, kitten-friendly litters to start with. You can then dive deep into scented ones. Is that beneficial for kittens or it's not? You can do unscented, clump. I think there's clumping and not clumping. There's different types of textures. You can really go deep into the litter part, and you can even have that as the beginning part of your litter training guide, as focus on the type of litter if that's what the client wants, right? So you can have this as sort of the bones of your content, but then add more to it. I can't stress this enough that when you are looking at ChatGPT or any kind of AI writing assistant tool, you do need to put your editor's hat on more often than your writing hat. All right, you're going to be mostly the driver's seat for editing the content, refining it for your own writing. If you do need help, I do have assistance for using an AI writing assistant tool. It is called Jasper AI Writing Prep. It is a writing prep master course. It's about an hour, a little bit more than that, with an extra lesson. I'm going to be updating this as well because I personally use Jasper as my AI writing assistant tool, GPT tool. It has a specific chatting feature like you just saw with my OpenAI example there. So Jasper Chat, it's called. So I'm going to be adding some information about that. But this has a companion workbook. It has over an hour and a half of training videos with this. And what's so neat about about this concept for freelance writers is that you can use the templates that Jasper gives you as ways to offer more services. So if you want to get started in email sequences and email writing, they do have templates for email subject lines. They do have templates for adding valuable points, bullet list in your email, so you can add that. They have an email campaign workflow. So if you decide to upgrade to the boss mode, you have access to a campaign for email from the first, I think, 3 or 5 emails. It will help you strategize and plan that out. So that's something that, again, you can use that for your client, put in your client's business, their client audience, promotional details, whatever they're selling and marketing, and Jasper will spit out a lot of things. And I show you this in my training, how to use it appropriately. So I do give you a lot. I mean, what's so neat is that once you do sign up for Jasper, you are invited to their Facebook group, which is highly valuable. As I was saying, I give you an example here of, write a blog post introduction by avoiding writer's block for content creators in Elna Kane style. And it does give you some nice things. So you can see the different types of quality that it gives you. Now, when you look at it and read it, it actually seems kind of nice. It says, are you a content creator struggling with writer's block? It's a frustrating feeling, but don't you worry, you're not alone. As a freelance writer and blogger myself, I've definitely experienced a dreaded writer's block at one point or another. But through trial and error, I've discovered a few strategies that have helped me overcome it and continue creating high quality content for my clients and readers. In this blog post, I'll be sharing those strategies with you so you can avoid writer's block and keep your content creation process flowing smoothly. So let's dive in and see how you can overcome writer's block as a content creator. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a really nice introduction. It has a small little hook, to get you interested. I think it says something about you're struggling, frustrating, those types of, emotional words to get you thinking about, yeah, it is frustrating. It is a struggle for me when I start writing on a blank sheet of document and I can't think of anything. It's nice, but it is a little generic. If you just type in writer's block in Google, you will find similar introductions about it being a struggle, about it being frustrating, about it being like anxiety provoking, right? Like you will see things like that are somewhat generic. It's up to you as the writer. You can take something like this and form it to something better. But you can see if you compare it to my introduction to writer's block, it's a lot longer. I'm not going to read all of it right here, but I do weave in like a storytelling element. And that's something that ChatGPT isn't doing or hasn't done yet. You can definitely use something like Jasper to tell it to write a story about such and such, and it will weave in a story for you. I've done that. So it does mimic it, but it's still highly generic. So that's where you can weave in a better storytelling element, better introductions, things like that. But let's go into Jasper so I can show you some more information about like using Jasper. So here is the chat beta. When you use this, you're not using credits. So with Jasper, when you sign up, it's a paid tool, and based on what tier you're on, you have access to 20,000 credits, 50,000 credits, whatever kind of credits you have. Every time you use the templates, every time Jasper spits out words. And so if you're writing long form content, you're using a lot of credits. But the chat function at this moment is free until OpenAI decides to, put it behind a paid wall and starts asking for payment. But right now, it just looks as very similar to the OpenAI, and it gives you some prompts here. So develop a story about, so we can see what it says. So develop a story about a kitten getting lost and the owner is a girl, so sad about it. Let's see what it does. One thing with chat functions is that it's long. It takes time. So, after a few seconds, it will give you something. So once upon a time, there was a little girl who loved animals. She had a special bond with her pet kitten and that she loved more than anything. And one day she let the kitten out for some fresh air and it never came back. The little girl searched everywhere for her beloved pet, but it seemed like her little kitten had vanished into thin air. So again, this is a very short story, but you can use this as a framework if you want. You can use Jasper Chat as a function. You can ask, what's the best running shoe for, let's just say, overweight women? So something that I might put into Google, I can ask Jasper Chat right now. So for overweight women, finding the best running shoe can be a challenge. However, there are certain features to look for when shopping for a running shoe. So it gives me exact features that I need to look for. Let's put this into the other tool and see if it gives me something similar. So I'm going to have a new chat up there and type in that. So again, it also gives me the same type of output about what to consider when choosing a shoe. So again, it's something that I might ask Google, for example. So let's see if it can summarize content. So I'm going to use OpenAI to go to a blog post of mine. So let's summarize one of my posts here. So we'll have it summarize this post. I copied it all, just the text, and put it into here. So it's all here, just the text. And let's see if it can summarize. I said, summarize this blog post and see if it can accurately summarize the blog post. So the blog post discusses the top affiliate marketing mistakes that bloggers make and how to avoid them. Relying solely on Amazon, that's correct. Not having enough, that's correct. The third is focus on money. Yeah, I mean, they're all correct, but I have 7 and there's only, let's see if I keep going with the 5th, 6th, and 7th mistake. Let's see if it can keep going. Let's see, not having a plan, not taking action. Great, so it does list all of the points, but as you can see, this is not really a summarization. It is almost just rewording it for me or something. I'm not quite sure if it's actually using the same words. As you can see, even though I asked it to summarize, this is a good summarization, but it didn't really summarize when I just said, keep going. It didn't go with the same thing of summarizing. So I should have maybe said, keep summarizing 5th, 6th, and 7th. And maybe it would have changed. Again, it's knowing how to use a tool, but you can see it does take a blog post and it can summarize it for you in a couple of sentences. So again, that's something nice for you. If you're reading some kind of long blog post, long article, you want to get the main points. You can use something like, Jasper Chat. You can use OpenAI, whatever you decide to find that answer. So hopefully that helped you with sort of understanding about ChatGPT, how to use it as a freelance writer. I do suggest that you enroll in my Jasper training prep class so that you can at least know how to use a writing tool effectively and you can market it to your clients. I do have one client that is okay with me using Jasper, for example, because they use Jasper for their content. And so they're fine with me using it as well. I use other AI tools like Grammarly, and I let them know that I use Grammarly. I give them my Grammarly score in my client pieces. So it's things like that where you can tell your clients I use SEO tools, editing tools, and writing assistant tools. Right? So as long as you disclose that to your clients, you should be fine. If they decide, I don't want that, I want original content that's written by you, the human, and no AI writing tools, you can negotiate and say, well, can I use it for the initial, research phase, for the outline phase, for the draft phase? And I will give you, feedback so you can see it. Like you can ask your clients all these things, because if it's part of your writing process, I would only work with clients that would be okay with that writing process if it's ingrained in your writing. For me, it's not ingrained. I still write thought leadership content, original type of content. I'm relying more heavily on that. As I mentioned in my latest blog post, I do have quotes from actual writers. So I am using actual quotes and actual original research that I gathered. So here's one from Angie, right? That she used cold pitching and it worked. You can see I am providing more actionable content that's realistic, that's original, that not many other people have. And it's things like that where, of course, clients will value the most and you'll get top dollar. And again, this blog post does go into those steps of how to use your expertise to make more money. I think it's in the ChatGPT section here about using your expertise, your experience that will make you more money. And I do talk about that, what I mean by that. So make sure you check that out and let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts about ChatGPT? Are you using it for your freelance writing business, or are you using it on the side as your passion blogs that you have? I have many passion blogs, but if you have like a blog that, you're more than welcome to use things like that. I think it's fun. I have a niche site that talks about like organizing and cleaning, and I like to see what Jasper gives me for hacks. What kind of cool hacks can you use with shaving cream for cleaning? And it's going to give me some cool little hacks that I can adapt into my content. I may not use every single one, and I definitely don't, but it has helped me create long form pieces of content for my websites, for my blog, and it's helpful advice. You can even use it for YouTube, for social media. I use it a lot for social media and for emails. You can even start using it for email, which I haven't, but you can for sure. All right, so let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and like this video if it's something that you're interested in seeing more of. I can definitely talk more about AI writing assistant tools in my videos if you need that. All right.